Okay, first of all, have a look at the diagram that's on the screen now. If you pick up your guitar, stand it up and look at it like that, you can see that the strings are going up and down and the frets are going left to right like that. Compare that to the diagram that you can see, and you can see that the lines that are going up and down, those are your strings on your guitar. The lines that are going across the screen, those are the metal bars here. Those are the frets of your guitar. The black dots that are on the lines going up and down, those are where you're going to actually put your fingers on the strings. So with that in mind, we're going to have a go now at putting down one of our fingers on the guitar. So pick up your guitar like normal. If you need to stand up your guitar like this and have a look at it at any point whilst practicing this chord, then pick it up and have a look at it like that. You'll be you'll be switching around a few times, but it should make it a lot easier to actually start to read these chord diagrams. So the finger we're going to put on first of all is our second finger. So don't count your thumb. Starting there, that's your index finger, that's finger number 1. Your second finger is the one next to it. It's normally the longest finger on most people's hands. Your pinky finger is your 4th finger. All right, so second finger to begin with. Now we're going to put that one on first, and we're going to find which string it goes on by counting the strings down from the one which is closest to the roof or to the ceiling. So that is the string that's closest to the ceiling. It's our E string. The next one down is our A string, and the next one down after that is the D string. That is the string we're going to be pressing down. It's the 3rd string down from the ceiling. So get your second finger and just put your finger on that string. It doesn't matter where it is at the moment, and as long as it's on the 3rd string down from the ceiling. What we need to do now is, look back at the diagram. You can see the spaces going across the page in the diagram. Those are the frets on your guitar here. And we can see that the black dot that is on the 3rd string down from the ceiling is in the 2nd space down the page. Not down the strings, but down the actual page. If you stand your guitar up now, you can see that that's your 1st fret, that's your 2nd fret. That's where the black dot is. So put your finger in that place. Right, once you've got your finger in the same place as mine now, put your thumb in the middle of the guitar's neck, on the back there. Don't wrap it around the top like this, just put it on the middle at the back at the moment. And make sure that you're pressing down with your second finger. Now, just pick that string. It should make a sound like that. If it's dead, like that, or if it's buzzing a lot, then you need to move your finger right up behind the fret. So it's as close as possible to the fret, but not on top of it. If you put your finger on top of the fret, like that, it'll just go dull and buzzing sounding again. The other thing you need to make sure you're doing is that you use your fingertip to press down the string. If you imagine my pick here is the string, that is how I'm pressing the string down. I'm really using the fingertip. Don't use the fingerprint like that. That's your fingerprint. You might be able to press the string down, it'll be much harder, and you won't be able to press the other strings in the chord down, so fingerprint. Also, be careful that you don't use too much of your fingerprint. What a lot of people do to begin with is they put the finger right down really, really close to the nail like that, and you'll actually end up getting the string wedged in between your finger and the nail. Don't do that because you won't be able to press it down and it'll actually hurt quite a lot as well. So, put your finger back on. Now we're going to do the next finger in the chord. If you look along the diagram, you can see that the next number we've got is 1. That is our 1st finger on our fretting hand. Now, again, pick up your guitar if you need to, all right? And follow the string up the diagram. And you can see the black dot is, again, it's on the 2nd fret. It's the 2nd space down your guitar. Now, to be able to press this finger down, you've got to fit it right underneath the 2nd finger like that. So it's the 2nd fret on the 3rd string up from the floor this time. Now we're going to count up from the floor. So that's our 1st, 2nd, third string, that's the G string, up from the floor like that. So check that you've got your finger in the right place. Keep your second finger on as well. We've now got the second and first finger down. And pick both of those strings. That is what you should get. There's a good chance you're going to get some buzzing with this one. The reason for that is you've probably not got your first finger underneath the second finger like that. You've really got to fit it underneath the second finger. It's a bit of a squeeze, but it makes other chords a lot easier to switch to when you use these fingers. So now we've got our second and first finger on the guitar. We're going to move on to the final finger, which, as you can see on the diagram, is your third finger. That is your ring finger, this one, next to your pinky. Count up the strings on the diagram. So we're now on the second string up from the floor. So that's your first string. That's your second string up from the floor. That's called the B string. And again, follow the string up, find the dots. Again, it's on the second fret down the fretboard, 1, 2. So we're putting our third finger on the second string up from the floor on the second fret. Right, make sure you've got your fingers in the same place as mine. Pick that string, should sound like that. Right, once you've got all three fingers on, count your fingers going from the roof, from the ceiling, down to the floor like that. Your fingers should go 2, 1, 3. Now look back at the diagram and count 2, 1, 3. Remember that the diagram is like your guitar is stood up this way. Pick those strings separately. If any of those strings isn't quite working, like that, keep picking that string. The one that you're most likely to find difficult is the G string, the third string up from the ground. That's probably because your first finger is too far towards the head of your guitar. You need to try and fit it underneath the second finger, like that. So once you've got those three fingers in that place, keep picking the strings. Okay, now look back at the diagram. You'll see that there's an X written on one of the strings. The X is written on the string that's closest to the ceiling, which is your E string. If there's an X written on the diagram, it means you don't play that string. So do not pick your E string, the string closest to the roof. If there's a 0 written on a string, it means that you are going to play that string, but we're not going to actually press it down. So it's one of the easiest ones to actually play in a chord. You just pick it. So in our diagram, the 0 is written on the second string down from the roof, which is our A string. So now go back and pick your A string, then pick the other three strings you're pressing down. And finally, we've got another 0 written on the string that is closest to the floor, which is our other E string. Should sound like that, or a little bit better than that. There you go. Now, whilst we're playing that one, if you happen to do what I just did, if you get a bit of a buzz happening there, that's because your third finger is probably leaning over slightly sideways like that and touching the E string. Now, the easiest way for most people to fix that is to get your thumb and slide your thumb down the back of the guitar neck so that your thumb is in the middle of the neck, like that. If your thumb gets too high like this, your fingers can't position themselves very well. Now, if you've seen someone playing chords before and they've got their thumb wrapped around like that, in fact, I might have started to do that during this video, that's probably because they've been playing these chords for a long time and they've got really good at positioning their actual fingers that they can bring the thumb up a little bit further like that. That is more comfortable, but it's a lot harder to learn the chord. So make sure you've got your thumb on the back of the neck like that. A general rule is to only touch the guitar with your fingertips and your thumb. This part of your hand here, your palm, and really this part of your thumb shouldn't really be touching the guitar. And another little check you can do is when you've got your chord on like that, you should be able to get your finger and fit it in between the bottom of the guitar's neck and your hand like that. If you can do that, then there's a good chance that you've got your hand in a good position. So make sure you practice this chord by playing the strings one at a time. The chord is A major. A really easy way to remember which string you start from is start from your A string, which is the second string down from the roof.